Good morning. How is going? Do you have fun with your classmates during the winter vacations? Or do you go back to your country, have a nice family time? Anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful time during the winter vacations. I got the good news about myself. My first child will be born at the beginning of the March. It's quite amazing for me because it means that my life is about to enter the new chapters. So, pretty awesome, I would say. But meanwhile, I have to say sorry to you guys. Probably for this semester, due to my newborn babies and my wife, so sometime occasionally I have to call a day off. But no worries, still I will take care of your class and the progress. Anyway, today Professor Han thinks that we should make an introduction about the design classes, since some of you are pretty new in this educating system. So probably you may wonder why we have design classes and why it is so different from another educating system in another department. So that's the thing why we make this slider. So let's moving forward and get to the point. Probably the first question you may ask is that what is the origin of the design course? Why we have this one and why it looks so different from the other classes in the other department? So in order to answer you these questions, we have to trace back to a long time ago. Actually, it's not that long ago and it's still in the solar system anyway. So anyway, let's go back to 1990. A man who changed the destiny of all design students, including you, forever. Okay, that's the one. Walter Gropius. Is there anyone who knows this guy? Can you give me some his story? Yeah, exactly. Walter Gropius. Probably he is one of the most iconic and important architects at the beginning of 20th century. But meanwhile, he's a very influential creator and educator in design educations. He founded the first modern design school in Germany, Weimar. It names Bauhaus. I guess most of you are supposed to know that, unless you didn't listen to your teacher on the design history classes. So the Bauhaus school changed the design training system forever. Before that, it used to be pretty old school mentorship, but after that, we have a much more systematic way to train our students. So, based on the design classes, it ingredients art and craftsmanship and also the practice classes together and make the designer has a whole visions about what they are going to do and what they have to learn. So yes, he is the reason who changed the design class and he's the reason why we have the design classes. Let's keep moving forward. So before the Bauhaus, actually, we still have the design classes, but it's not like that kind of systematic design classes. It's more like visual art classes. Basically, visual art classes is art legal system, which means that before you go to the art school, you have to choose a master. So in the following 4 years, you will follow your master to learn his drafting, hand skill, and all the knowledge from him. Basically, just follow your mentor and everything will be fine. But after Bauhaus, well, things become different because for as a designer, the most important thing is about independent thinking. So the Bauhaus system basically its educating system is based on the design classes. Design classes is the core of all the other classes. And the design classes will be co-taught by the artists and the craftsmen. Man, and also on the design classes, basically it's a project-based learning. So all the students on the design classes, they have to design their own project, keep it developing and keep it refining, keep doing researching, etc. And all the rest of classes, including practice or probably some technical classes or maybe theory classes, it will be the supporting power, supporting forces to help the design class to make the student can have the ability to fulfill and to realize their project. So that's the Bauhaus system. Quite different, right? One is based on your mentor, so just follow your master. Another one basically is more about yourself. So the student on the Bauhaus, actually they have to much more self-discipline and self-motivations. Let's keep moving forward. So the interesting part of the design class is that basically it will be co-taught by two teachers. One is the artist, and another one will be the craftsman. And for sure, the artist will always tell you, okay, just do it. Try to use your imagination, creation, make something cool and awesome things. Trust me, it will be awesome. Okay? But another one's craftsman, basically, he will take care about the practical part. So usually the first word he will say to you guys is that, trust me, it won't work. Well, it's not working like that. So it's a completely contradictory and opposite directions, right? So here is an example. Paul Klee, artist, very famous painter. And another one, the craftsman, is Marcel Breuer. He's an architect and also a craftsman. So they are always fighting against each other. And well, sometimes probably they will fight on the classes in front of the student. So for sure, at that time, the student will feel, oh my God, what should I do? What can I do? I don't know which one I should follow. But the two teachers, they disagree with each other. They don't have the same opinions. Well, so for sure, at that time, well, the student has to count on themselves. First thing is learning from the teacher and try to adapt their comments and feedback. Second thing, think by themselves and do some filtering. Finally, keep trying and trying again. So that's the classes at that time. However, it turned out to be pretty good. All the students who has go through this kind of suffering become one iconic generation in the design history, including Anna Otto. She's a Scandinavian architect and very iconic product designer, and Herbert Bayer, very famous and great graphic designer and a visual artist. Max Bill, he's a pretty good product designer. Anyway, I only list a few alumni at the first generation of Bauhaus, but most of them become pretty good designer, and some of them become the teachers in famous design school, and some of them become very good in the industry. So it means this kind of educating system works. And all the rest of design school basically pretty much follow the same way to teach. For sure, most of them have evolved a little bit, but pretty much the same. So let's go back to here, interaction design classes. So if you want me to tell you what the design class is, I would say it's just like a platform to realize your idea. And meanwhile, your idea will be tested here. It's just like a sandbox environment, okay? We simulate the real situation, we simulate the real industry requirement here, and make you have the opportunity to be tested. So the job of the design teacher is that we will give you a design topic, okay? Probably it will relate it to the main trend in the world, probably like AI, or probably like a vibe coding, or maybe the latest or innovative application, game project, etc. Anyway, the first things we will give you guys is the design topic based on the main trend right now. And during the design classes, for sure, we will give you and provide you some industrial restriction, some practical consideration based on our experience. And for sure, methodology is a very important thing because usually design is not like creation. You can do just the things you want. You have to follow a workflow and somehow to find the right way to do your project. And technical direction and for sure enormous good role model reference. So that's the job we will do during the design classes. And for you guys, for sure, you have to try to think about a great idea, do some technical study and do self-learning, be self-disciplined, and finally prototyping it. And that's your job. Okay? So that's the things we will do, and that's the relationship between the teacher and the design classes. And also, the role of the design class in the design department is very important. It's an integration of practice. So, no matter what kind of thing you have learned, probably you learn both C# on the programming class, or you learn some AI technique during another AI application class, or you learn Unreal, Blender, Unity on computer aided design classes. Anyway, no matter what kind of technical you learn or what kind of theory, what kind of design methodology you learn from a class, well, in the end, well, you can and you should apply all these ideas on the design class, okay? Because it's a platform for you to realize your technique, to realize your idea, and all the things you will be tested right here. That's the reason why we have to invite the industrial experts to here and give you comment. And that's the reason why we will you have discussion for so many times. So that's the function of the design class. Keep moving forward. So here is the class map from the first year to fourth year. For the first year, if you have taken my class, you will know that, well, for fundamental design, basically it's an introduction of the UX design and the design thinking. So I will give you 5 projects, and I hope through these 5 projects, you can go through the whole industries. And for the second year, creative design, and third year creative design, it's more like deep research. So you have dive into different interaction design topics. Probably some things about Internet of Things, sometimes about the application design, or sometimes more about the kind of RW design, etc. So you can use some more advanced design methodologies and also advanced techniques to do your project. And for the second semester of the third year and the fourth year interaction design projects, well, that's the time to examine what you have got in the following 4 years. So you have to be prepared and be ready for your necessity design. It will be one of the most important design projects in your lifetime. Because first things, you will need this one to find a good job. Another one is that, well, you will need this one to participate in some competition in order to be shine in the market. So that's the things you have to. Anyway, just show what you got in the fourth year. Be shine in the competition and find a good job. Okay? So let's keep moving forward. And here is the design of the design class. Usually we will have 6 hours and 3 credits for every semester, except the fourth year. For fourth year, you will have 4 credits and 8 hours. And here's my class calendar. I think it's more intense compared to most of the students here, right? Well, I have 18, and actually more than 18 hours because, that's our requirement of the school. So that's it. Anyway, so why we have 3 credit and but why we have 6 hours in the meantime? Well, here is the things. For design class, it's more like a practice class. Okay, so we will have meeting. Well, we will use 3 hours for meeting, and during these 3 hours, if we have some technical workshop or lectures, we will do that here. And also, for sure, the most important one will be the inner discussion and feedback from the teachers. So that will be the first 3 hours. And how about another 3 hours without credits? Okay, basically this 3 hours is for your practice. So you can use these 3 hours to discuss with your teammates, to do the prototyping and experiment. And if you have questions, well, usually for myself, I will provide consulting for a student. Well, I think for some of you, you already used that before, especially before the midterm and the finals. You can make an appointment with me and I will help you technically or in a technical part or probably in the design thinking idea presentation part. So that's the things. So we will split the design class in these 2 parts. One meeting and discussions, another one consulting and your practice time. And usually in the design class, it's not like another classes, the kind of lecture class. You can just sit there and do some notes and submit your project. for the design class, your project have to be examined by the design critique and the final exceptions. So get used to that, okay? So finally, the keyword of the design classes. I think first thing for sure, self-discipline and self-learning is a very important idea. Here there is a book. It names The Lifetime Reading Plan. Written by Clifton Fedman. It's a very nice book. Basically, Clifton Fedman, he is a reporter and journalist. He listed all the valuable and classical books that he recommend student people to read, and basically it goes through the entire lifetime. So I think it's a pretty nice book. Anyway, I just want you guys to know that learning is a personal thing. It's not that kind of out forces that can push you to learn. If you can only do that, I will say probably you're not that good for college life. Anyway, and another thing is for sure discussion and practice. Collaborate with your classmates and teammates, because usually for now the project cannot be done by yourself. For sure, you have to collaborate. All right. Anyway, final word, just do it. Okay. And one more thing I'd like to remind you. On the design class, the teacher and student, the relationship between these two is just like one is the teacher, another one is the player. So without the above, we cannot give you feedback and help. Okay? If you come to a design class without anything, any progress, how can we help you? Right? If we do the coding for you, is that your work or our work? If we just directly draw the things for you, well, is that your work or our work, right? So that's the things you have to think about. No matter how bad it is, or no matter how stupid you think your idea will be, anyway, just give us the both, and we can try to help you. So just remember that. All right. Anyway. So use the following for you to paint the most beautiful scenery you have seen and share with us. Try to do your best, okay? So thanks for your listening. Enjoy your lunch.